everyone, welcome back to Design Basics. I thought I would do a series of videos on, and maybe also photos, on cards using color combinations from the Color Coach. But to get us started, I thought I would do a video on just the Color Coach. This is a new Color Coach that Stampin' Up! Is offering. And I think it's really great. One thing you'll notice right away is when they put the color combinations together, they put them not by color families, but by colors. So you have all your pinks and reds, or your blues, your greens, your yellows. Well, here's pinks, there's reds, neutrals, and then back here in the back I put my end colors. When you order the Color Coach, you will get the end colors, and if you want, you can put them up here, pinks with pinks and purples with the other purples if you want. I just chose to leave them in the back, but of course you can do whatever you want. So I thought I would show you a couple of cards using some color combinations, and I thought also I would talk just a little bit about the Color Coach and how it's laid out, things I like about it. For one, I like the fact that it's in a small compact set. I like the fact that the colors are together, all the pinks are together, but also within each one it lists the name of that color. I like how big the swatch is if I'm trying to pair it with another color, and it also tells you what color family it's in, and if it has an asterisk like this one right here, that means that it's in the Getting Started color combination collection, and that combination is a set of colors that Stampin' Up! Has chosen to put together. They're just easy colors to work with, and they pair well together. Alright, so just to begin with the specifics, one of the things that the Color Coach talks about is colors. If you think of colors as a language, then they convey a meaning to someone. So if you're going to do a wedding card, for example, you might tend to use a little bit more elegant colors versus you're going to make a card for a 2-year-old for their birthday. You might want to use more bright, primary type colors. But let's talk about the guide, because not only do you have these big color swatches, on the back of each card you also have some information. So I just wanted to go over what that was. And let's start with, I think I'll go up here and use Elegant Eggplant and show you, because it has a lot of information on the back of it. One thing you'll notice on the back is it has the name of the color, which is great, and it lists the color. Not all of them are going to have this double circle right here. For example, here, Tempting Turquoise. Tempting Turquoise does not have that. What that is that's called a dynamic duo, and it's two colors, one of them being the primary color for that card, and another color that pairs well with that for a monochromatic scheme. So this is two purples that pair well together, and it tells you what that dynamic duo is. It's Elegant Eggplant and then Perfect Plum. So it shows you those two shades next to each other, which I think is great. Then you're going to have two combinations listed. You're going to have what they're calling the Creative Combination and the Suite Set. But you might also, you're always going to have the Creative Combination at the top, but you might also, other than one called the Suite Set, you might have one called the Getting Started Combination. And as the name indicates, their Getting Started is from the Getting Started Color Combination Set. So if you're new to stamping and you just get the Getting Started combination colors, then these are going to be colors that you have to work with. But then you're also going to have a set called a Suite Set. It's just another set. And I don't know if you can see this. It's very light gray. There's a little tiny heart next to the word set, and that just is a part of Shelley's collection of colors that she likes. You'll notice it in the catalog as well with some of the stamp sets. So those are just signatures for her. So apparently she likes these three colors together, the Elegant Eggplant, the Melon Mambo, and the River Rock. Okay, so one of the ways that it talks about how these colors pair well together is you're going to have what's called power pair. More than likely, if you've studied any color theory, you're going to look at a color wheel, and these two are going to be opposite each other on the color wheel. So, not a big deal. It doesn't really matter to you. If you're looking at these color combinations, you don't need to know that, but that information is also on these instructional cards, which I highly recommend that you read. But let's continue looking at our creative combination here. You're going to have Elegant Eggplant and More Mustard. And then a third color that you might want to throw in is Garden Green. If you're new to stamping, then you might want to just stick with these two, Elegant Eggplant and More Mustard. You could throw a neutral in. which brings in a whole nother conversation about the neutrals, but we'll talk about those in a minute. Basically, a neutral color is a color that you could put with just about any combination, and in some cases it's very beneficial. If you have some really bright primary colors, you're definitely going to need to throw some neutrals in there just to tone it down a bit. Okay, but our power pair is Elegant Eggplant and More Mustard. What I wanted to talk to you about, one of the things they point out here, is that if Elegant Eggplant is your primary color, you're going to want to use half as much More Mustard on a card as you would the Elegant Eggplant. And then if you're going to throw in a third color, then you want to use half as much of that third color as you do your second color. Does that make sense? So start with your primary. Your power color that you're going to put with that, the More Mustard, only put half as much More Mustard as you do Elegant Eggplant. And if you choose to throw in a third color like the Garden Green, then only use half as much Garden Green as you do More Mustard. Same principle applies down here. If Elegant Eggplant is your primary color, only use half as much Melon Mambo as you do Elegant Eggplant. And then if you're going to throw in the River Rock, your third color, then only use half as much River Rock as you do Melon Mambo. That's just an easy rule of thumb for you to keep in mind that's going to help you put your color combinations together. Now, there's a lot more to this color coach, and we may go into talking some more about the theory later. But right now I think that pretty much covers the basics. What I really thought would be fun is to do some cards using some of these interesting color combinations in here that I personally don't think that I ever would have thought to put together. So that being said, I was preparing a couple cards for some workshops last week, and after this video you will see the videos making these cards, but I thought I would just show them to you as an example. One of them, I knew that I wanted to use the Pear Pizzazz color, which is one of the new in colors. This is a beautiful color and I love it. So I decided, okay, I want Pear Pizzazz in my card. So what other color combination do I want to put together for that? So I decided to go with the creative combination here. So I'm using Pear Pizzazz, Rich Razzleberry, and Tempting Turquoise. Now I will tell you, when I put this card together, it does have a lot of Rich Razzleberry on it, which should really only have half as much Rich Razzleberry as Pear Pizzazz. But I still love the way the color combination came out, and I'll kind of explain why I still think it works, okay? Maybe if I had some Pear Pizzazz ribbon, I would have liked it better, but I don't know that I would, because I just was really tickled at how it turned out. And here's the card, and again, you can watch that video. I guess I'll put the video following this one, and then the next card I show you will be the one after that. So here's my Rich Razzleberry. I'm not going to go into the details of how I made the card, because you can watch that video, but here's my Rich Razzleberry. Here's my Pear Pizzazz, and the reason Pear Pizzazz is my primary color, the reason I think that the balance still works is because you still see a lot of the Pear Pizzazz, where I've really cut down on the amount of Rich Razzleberry, and then I have the Rich Razzleberry ink, satin ribbon. So this might have worked if I'd used maybe, there's not a Pear Pizzazz ribbon, but I probably could have thrown in this old olive satin because it still works really nice. Okay, but as I look at this, the reason I don't think that would work is because I don't have Rich Razzleberry anywhere on my focal point. Any other place I would only have it as my card base. So for me, that doesn't balance. If I have a color in one location on a card, I 99% of the time try to put it in another location on the card. Otherwise, to me, it looks a little bit out of place. Okay. So we have the Rich Razzleberry, the Pear Pizzazz, and then just a touch of the Tempting Turquoise. So that's where the balance does come in. That I've actually used less than half of the Tempting Turquoise than I did the Rich Razzleberry in this case. So there you go. Little birdie though, he had some more Tempting Turquoise. Fun. I was very tickled with that once I got it done. Now here's the next card. Let's see. I think I picked. Trying to remember if I picked cranberry or, I'm sorry, not cranberry, cherry cobbler. Yes, cherry cobbler. I was trying to remember if it was cherry cobbler or early espresso I went with. This case I decided I wanted to use cherry cobbler. So for my creative combination, I used cherry cobbler, daffodil delight, and early espresso. So here's the card I came up with that. And again, you can watch the video for this later on when I post it. So here's my cherry cobbler base. That's my primary color. It's going to have the most of it, the most showing. So I tried to get my balance back here. Then I have the Daffodil Delight. I've got a big chunk of it here and then here. And vanilla, in this case, is a neutral. Just like on the other card, the white is a neutral. so it's not another color that I've necessarily thrown in to the mix. It's just a neutral, and neutrals you can always throw in. And then for my early espresso, I have the Eiffel Tower, the ink, and then the early espresso satin ribbon as well. And that's also the ink that I use to distress it. So I think the balance works really well. It was fun coming up with these combinations. If you guys really want to throw me for a loop, then pick one of these colors in here and tell me which color combination you think you'd like for me to try. And I'll put a card together. But in the meantime, I do have some other cards that I'll show you. I don't know if I'll do videos on every one of them, just because they're already made and it's a little more labor intensive. It depends on how much time I have. School starts back in a week. So, 2 cards using color combinations from the new Color Coach. Hope you enjoyed. You can be looking for the videos on these. I'll probably post the video for this one tomorrow and this one a day or 2 after. So, you can be looking for those. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys next time for more Design Basics.